Attention citizens, nuclear strike imminent.
Smoke every day.
Time for y'all to meet the dad behind the mask. Hey everybody, it's Dad from TaskForce 420, and today we're going to do a little bit of a video that's all over the place. I'm going to be doing an unboxing, I'm going to be doing a little bit of modifications, we're going to be adding some parts to a gun that I just purchased. Let's dig into it. Alright, so today's gun that we are going to be unboxing is the G&G Armament SMC-9. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I have owned this gun before. I really enjoyed the way that it operated. It was a clean, smooth working gun, and I would definitely recommend the purchase to any newer to intermediate player, or even guys that just want to add something to the collection that's fun to shoot. I mean, it's really fun to shoot. So let's start getting it open. Obviously, we've got the box here. They do pretty cool with the graphics and stuff. I like how it's raised up, and you know, they took some time there to make this advertisement. And then on the sides of the box, there's some warnings. There's a little carrying handle, and it gives you some of the specifications that have to do with the gun on the side, as well as on the back. The SMC-9 has these available magazines, which is really cool. I own some of these. These are the standard GTP-9 pistol mags. And then you have the extended 50-round mags that are for the SMC-9 conversion kit. But they also sell a drum mag. Now, I haven't tested this drum mag, but I've heard good things. I've looked up a lot of videos on it, and from what I understand, it's a really nice mag and can even be HPA tapped if you do it correctly. Of course, always do your own research. I'm really big on looking into things before I mess with it. There's a 120 click adjustment for your hop up for high precision. There's a large gas valve in these mags. I personally can refill them 2 times with 50 BBs when they are fully, stacked full of gas, and they will shoot almost all 100 rounds before that gas goes out. So they're really efficient on the gas. To be able to reload your mags on the field is just awesome, knowing you will still have enough gas to get through that next magazine. So other than that, there's some ceramic material that they use to help with frost resistance. I've used this weapon in cold weather. I would recommend you using it when it's at least 60 degrees out or warmer, but I have shot it in as cold as 40 degree weather, and it still performs. It still does a good job, so don't be afraid to reach out for this one. We're going to start to open it up now. And you may also notice that I have purchased the inner barrel stabilizer unit, right? It's just a quick and easy mod, doesn't take a whole lot. There's no tools necessary for this. You just put it in there and it helps your gun shoot much more accurately with the standard tip. I will not be using the standard tip. I'm actually going to be removing that and adding on an amplifier today. Also, along with the lineup, I'm going to do the power down nozzle kit. The blue one powers it down. The black one that is in there right now, that is stock, I believe can shoot up to almost 400 FPS. And I personally would like to go full auto. At my fields that I play at, I would say that 330 FPS is our cutoff for full auto SMGs. So I'm going to put the nozzle down kit into it and get us somewhere between hopefully 310 and 320 FPS. Inside of the box, you get some nice paperwork to go with everything. As you can see, they do a great job at giving an instruction booklet. I mean, look at this. It is extensive. It's not all in a foreign language. There's English and multiple languages in here, it looks like. So that's really nice that they took the time, knowing that this gun is going to be sold around the world and people are going to use it, and that different people are going to want to know all the information. So that's just great that they take the time to include all that in there. There's even a great parts breakdown here. There's lots of different pieces to this gun if you choose to take it fully apart. I personally am not going to. I'm just going to do what I wanted to do to basically recreate the weapon that I had before I broke it. So there's warranty paperwork. That's pretty cool. We're going to move on past this. This is basically just their catalog pamphlet thing. And there's a list of different guns and all kinds of different things. So if you're looking into more weapons, there's a easy step into finding more from G&G. That was a good display on their part. So now diving into the box, we've got an extra pistol grip. That's pretty nice. And look, it even comes with an extra hop-up tool. This specific gun uses this small hop-up tool adjuster in order to basically make your hop-up turn. They slide right in to the bottom of what is your pistol grip, and then it clicks in. Now, the first GTP-9 that I bought was not brand new in the box. It was used, and it did not have that tool. So I ended up having to use a very small screwdriver and very carefully go in through this end right here, take this off, and you can get to that adjustment in the inner barrel. So I had a little bit of trouble with that. It didn't really, want to cooperate per se, not having the right tool. It is really nice to see that with these next models, they put two of them in there. So you get the standard one, and then you get the backup with the grip. That is awesome. Any extra parts are always appreciated. G&G did it right with that. This gun has some pretty cool options. Straight out the box, you get these, standard flip-up sights. They're not crazy expensive or awesome, but hey, you got sights on your gun. You didn't have to go buy any. So newer players, check that out. That's pretty cool. It has an ambidextrous opening port. Something I really like about the gun. The charging handle opens, and if you choose to leave both sides open, you can literally watch each BB rack in full auto. That's pretty fun. As you can hear, really nice stiff action. It's got strong springs in it, and it's generally easy to take apart. I've looked up a lot of videos on this gun, and it should not be too much of a chore or hassle to do. So we are going to start diving into that after we look at a few more of the features. It comes with a D-ring, or a QD mount, or however you would like to specify that. I know a lot of people say different things. So you just press this button, pop it in there, boom, you've got a sling mount. It can rotate. It's nice that it has that full movability, right? Here's another sling mount. This is the one I use. I use a 1-point sling for this. It's really nice, and it works out great, especially with the folding stock. The folding stock is really nice. You can see they have a raised pad right here, and in that raised pad there is actually a pretty strong magnet, as well as a receiving magnet on the end of this part here that folds in. And right here I can already feel them starting to draw together. That's really nice, thing that they did with the gun. Other than that, it comes with one of the 50-round extended mags for the SMC-9, right? So that's pretty cool. Being able to have that extended mag really comes in clutch. Trust me. I've shot the regular GTP-9 mags out of this, and you will run out of BBs pretty quickly. So it's just awesome that it comes with the stack. I believe this is the V2 lightweight edition. It feels much lighter than the first edition ones that I have. They have two different weights available on e-Vike, and that's where I find my mags for this specific gun. It also comes with a cheap little reloader, but hey, that's just nice that they put it in there, right? And it looks like it even has an attachment here so you can load a different kind of magazine, not just for this gun. And then your standard cleaning on jamming rod. All of them are pretty cheap and flimsy. I personally would recommend that you buy an actual gun cleaning kit for air guns or pellet rifles. And mine that I own is made by Ruger, and it is phenomenal. I would really recommend that. Now, before I start modifying and taking things apart, I just want to take it out of the box and shoot it. Don't you guys want to shoot it? So we are going to gas this mag up, and we are going to give her a try. Nice locking spring, so you don't sit here and be dropping BBs like crazy. It is a double stack mag. We are not going to fill it all the way. We are just testing it purely to make sure it works out of the box before we do anything else to it. When releasing these springs, slowly let them up. The springs are literally so strong, I've had BBs catch in the top and crack and get stuck here. So be very careful releasing that spring if the mag is not actually full. I personally like to use this gas. It's not that expensive and it's quite powerful. You could use propane. You want to add your own silicone oil. That's totally up to you. Nice gas valve available there. And the depletion valve right here. We're just going to put a little in. Now these mags can hold quite a bit of gas, but we are just testing the weapon. Now that was fun. Yeah, what else is there to say? It's fun to shoot. So, we're going to put the magazine back for now. She's empty. Yep, all good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some parts off and we're going to add some parts. And the first thing that I'm going to do is take off these sights and add the red dot that I chose. And then I'm also going to be adding an amplifier, and I'm going to be adding an inner barrel stabilizer, as well as on this beautiful M-LOK rail, we're going to utilize the space given and put on a really nice 1450 lumen flashlight, as well as a really nice laser. So let's start diving into that. All right, we are going to start taking off these sights. It's really good to have the proper tools. I have this little toolkit that I like to use for airsoft. I really recommend you guys get one. I actually got mine at the dollar store. They're not very expensive. And with that being said, you know, you want to be careful of the threads and everything like that. But all we need is a simple couple of flatheads. So that's what we're going to get out of the toolkit for now. And we're going to remove these. Ooh, they put them on there. All right. There's one. I always like to put things back together how they came off, so that way I can set it aside for later. Then we're going to take the other one off. That one wasn't even tightened down. And again, I'm just going to tighten this down for the sake of not losing parts. Alright, so we have the standard sights off of there. Really nice rail they give us. The sight that I chose is a red dot made by CV Life. You can get these on Amazon. They are not very expensive. And I really liked it. It's only $60, I believe. And I personally enjoy how it works and the aesthetics for what it is, for what I'm using it for. Obviously, if you are going with a different firearm or an actual weapon, I would recommend to get something maybe a little more sturdy. But again, this is all personal preference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is where I had it set before. So we're going to go back one more. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where we want it set. This one is a star key. So again, having all the tools for the job is essential. And we're going to tighten it down. Like so. Alright, so that is on there nice and tight, already looking a lot better. I personally don't like the flip-up sights, but it's really nice that they included them, especially for newer players. So, now we are going to, let's get these out of the way, we're going to take this off of here and start working on the inner barrel stabilizer unit. So you're going to unscrew this entire outer barrel. When you do this, be careful. They are CNC aluminum threads, and they will strip if you force it too much. So make sure when you're doing this, you're being careful. There is a small hex key here, so we are going to take that off. Let's see if I have one small enough. Yep, that's it. And we're going to loosen that so that we can, in fact, take off this orange tip. Believe it also unthreads. Alright, so like most orange tips on most airsoft guns, it gave me some trouble. I actually had to put a little bit of heat to it, and I could not get the wrench to turn this part. I ended up having to put a screwdriver through the center here and turn it that way. But I did get it to loosen. And it looks like, yeah, they did put a small bit of adhesive in there to make sure that that stays on tight, which is understandable. But we're not going to be using that. So, clean up a little bit of the adhesive. And we should be good to go here. So, this is the amplifier I'm going to be using. I used it on my last one. I really enjoyed it. And we are going to just make sure that everything is going to fit, which it will. Seems to be working well. So, as you can see, it's really hard to tell. There's a small gap right here. And what that inner barrel stabilizer unit does is it actually allows that inner barrel to not be moving around while all of this is attached. So we're going to leave the outer barrel off for just a moment so I can explain this. This is where your tool is going to go in, right? So you pop that out the bottom. You're going to put this in here, and then you're going to adjust it. And there's a lot of clicks. You can really get this gun on a precision shot. So that's a really cool feature that they have with this gun. If I can figure out how to slide that back in there, that would be great. Okay, so next thing that I'm going to do is start to play around, see how this inner barrel moves quite a bit. So we want to stabilize that, make sure everything's nice and tight before we do anything else here. So we are going to take these pieces, right, and they are going to go on the outer barrel portions on the receiving end where that amplifier is going to go. It's nice, they give a nice instruction set. It's very clear and definitive. AirTech Studios are the ones that produce this. In case you're wondering about the company and where to find it, I got mine at ebike.com. And really, it's simple. It's just another small CNC aluminum threaded piece and a rubber gasket. It's really nothing crazy. So we're going to put that back over. And we are going to carefully thread back our outer barrel to where we want it. And now the nice thing about having the amplifier that I'm going to use is it's actually really easy to take it on and off to adjust this hop up. You can adjust this hop up without the tool. If in fact you have that portion off, you can just turn this by hand. So again, really easy to use. It's nice that they did that. This is just going to slide over right here, and that's going to kind of give us a little bit of cushion. And then this is going to slide over the end here so that they can meet. I believe it goes on. Yep, with that part facing down. So you want these open gaps right there facing towards the rest of the threads so that there's an opening there. Then when you put on your amplifier, I did watch a few videos on this. This part is relatively simple to do, but if you mess it up, you can seriously damage these threads, and you don't want to do that. That's really going to inhibit the use of the gun. Putting any kind of tracer unit, amplifier, dampener, silencer, if that's what you're into. There's all kinds of different things that you can do here, but you want this to be seated properly. And you can see now, see if I can get it in there. You can see now it's right up against that edge. That's what we want. And then we're just going to tighten it ever so slightly. And it should be good to go. Think it looks pretty sharp? Dad jokes. So, we're going to continue on with the modifications. Now is the part where I'm going to start taking some things apart. Okay. This is the widest screwdriver I own, so hopefully this works. So in order to take apart the bottom from the lower, you need to do this. You take these off, and then this whole ring slides out of here. Be very careful when doing so. I've seen people break this button in a video, so don't do that. Fold this shut before you do it. Make it easy for yourself. This is only polymer. It can't take a lot of pressure. So slowly give yourself a little pressure, and then slowly a little more, and it comes right out. Don't be the guy that breaks his gun on day one. So, after that happens, you push this in, and this part I would have your barrel out, or not barrel, excuse me, your stock out. You're going to push this in, you're going to slide this back, and then everything is going to come apart and come out this way. Don't want to lose that. Okay, we're just going to set that down for a moment because we don't need it for now, and we're not modifying anything there. You can short stroke these. I might do that in a separate video, but it's not my intended goal today. I like to have these ports open for this. It makes everything so much easier to see. You're going to take this and pull this back, and then you can slowly take your entire lower off. Very carefully take this entire lower off. And there it is. It's nothing special. It's just the lower to your gun. So then from here, what we want to do is flip this over real carefully. We're going to slide this out, and usually everything wants to come together just like that. And now we can do our nozzle swap. So we need to be careful. There's a spring in here, and to take this apart, you don't want to be messing around with this switch too much. That's your single to full auto switch. As you can see, you can pop it right out of here, and you can lose some springs. And to reset this little spring right here is really hard. So do not take that out. All right. So we've got our blue nozzle set in. Did our power down nozzle. The 2 springs are inside of there. I'm going to see what happens with 2 springs. I actually haven't done it with 2. The kit comes with 2. I don't know if it's just an extra, but there's a port on each side to have a spring. So I'm going to put 2 in and test fire it. And if 2, seems to be damaging or making something wrong, then I will take one out. But I think that there's a spot for it for a reason. It's an ambidextrous gun, so maybe it's supposed to be on that side, but came with 2 and put 2 in. So these are a little meticulous, but again, you don't want to cross thread anything. You want to go in nice and smooth. And once these are both tight, I'm going to go just a little bit extra. Don't want nothing falling apart while you're shooting. You don't want to strip out the heads. You don't want to over tighten it and strip out the port, but you really want it tight. You don't want it to be able to slide. And with 2 springs in there, this thing is snappy. I would imagine that this is going to work really well. You've got a lot of grease in there. Then all we have to do is just slide this back in, like so. And that was pretty much it. You don't have to do a whole lot else. You slide this, there's a nice rail, it just follows down the rail. And then you just be careful about, putting it back together. Sometimes I do have trouble with this part. It's a little bit finicky of the bottom. There it is. Slides right into place. Once you get it locked in, everything's good. Then all we have to do is take these springs, line them back up with the holes correctly. Easier said than done, right? Then we're going to slide that back in. Click our safety latch back on and forward. And now our gun is completely modified. We've got the inner barrel stabilizer. We've also got the nozzle down kit, right? And if we look here, we can see that that blue color is showing, and that's what shows that you have that in there correctly. Now, I'm going to put these pieces back on that are necessary for the whole frame of the gun. But one thing I didn't cover yet is right here, there's a bumper on both sides. And you see this one has a screw and an attachment. That's the attachment, and it's ambidextrous. To take it off and switch it. So I'm a right-handed shooter. When I'm shooting, I'm like this. I'm going to have this side pop up for my action viewing, right? And then I can fold it down when necessary. This one will stay closed if it doesn't have this on there. So we're going to switch this piece over to this piece so that we can have the viewport over here open automatically when shooting. Another cool feature to the gun. So I'm going to put these pieces back in. All right, so we've got the amplifier and the inner barrel stabilizer added. We've got our red dot on there. we have added our blue nozzle down kit. I just switched the auto port so that it'll flip up on the side that I'm doing when I'm shooting and racking. I really enjoy the fact that it's ambidextrous, like I previously said. You just take this screw off, put it in on this side, and now it's running great for me. Next thing I'm going to do is attach these M-LOK attachments. There's really not a lot to them. They're pretty simple. M-LOK is a great way to mount your stuff. You basically just take these and slide them into place, and then it will sit right on this rail and look so flush and clean. So I'm going to quickly start putting that together. Well, hopefully you guys like today's content. I know it's a little bit different form than what we usually do on the channel, but it's airsoft related. I thought some of you airsofters would like to see how to take apart this gun and possibly want to buy it or use it. I would recommend it. I really have enjoyed the gun. It's great for the price point. G&G Armament did a big thumbs up on this one. Thanks again, guys, for viewing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the battlefield.